All right, we have all caught our breath after another wild Bears victory over the Giants earlier today, and I got some more reaction, good and bad news for the Bears coming out of this one as Chicago sits 6-3. If you're fired up that the Bears are 6-3, and if you're fired up that the Bears won yet again, go ahead and like this video. Guys, doesn't matter how, it matters how many. 6 wins on the year, only 3 losses. Let's go. Hit that like button. I'm Harrison Graham. We got good news and bad news to discuss following the Bears' 24-20 win over the Giants in Week 10. We'll get with the good stuff first. And the good news is that Caleb Williams is clutch, which we've already known, but you won this game primarily because of number 18. The Bears were struggling around him offensively. The defense for the majority of this game was struggling. And Caleb Williams just kept punching, kept making plays, and he was the reason primarily that you won. 20 of 36, 220, and a touchdown, but this is where box score hunting gets people in trouble. And it felt this way throughout the game, and it definitely, I think it's been confirmed after PFF does their real live reaction, and then they'll do like their overview, and grades and certain stats could change a little bit in the morning. PFF's initial reaction, they graded the Bears with 6 drops. And they're very conservative. Like, if it's 50-50, they will not rule it a drop. For example, coming into this game, Rome Odunze only had 3 drops. I think we know he's had more than that. They also credited Caleb Williams with the 74.3 adjusting completion percentage instead of like 58 or whatever it was. If you didn't watch this game, you probably like, well, he was up and down, but found a way late. Like, no, he was very good throughout, hung in there mentally, and ultimately won you the game. Because when you were backed up against the wall, and I do want to give the defense credit, made a couple key stops in the fourth quarter, albeit mostly with Jackson Dart out of the game. Caleb Williams led back-to-back touchdown drives. Threw a touchdown pass to Rome Odunze, and then ran one in from 17 yards out. Ben Johnson said it in the celebratory locker room video that they put out after every win. Ice in his veins. And that the best is yet to come, and I agree with Coach on that one. Kevin Fishbane had this stat as well, that today was Caleb's 4th game-winning drive of the season, tied for the most in a season in Bears history per stat head. The others, Jay Cutler did it 3 times. He had 4 in 3 different seasons. Bob Avellini and then Billy Wade, all with years with 4 or more game-winning drives. Got 8 more games to go. Something tells me more is on the table. Are you a Caleb Williams believer? I know there's doubters out there. I know there's hardcore believers. Are you one of them? Type Y for yes, you are, or type N for no, you are not. Some more good news. CJ Gardner-Johnson has been a revelation. He has been absolutely fantastic in the 2 games since the Bears picked him up, especially today. Last week he was on somewhat of a pitch count. He had only practiced, I think, twice before the Bears played the Bengals. But today, he led you in tackles. He had 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, which, by the way, the forced fumble kind of saved you the game because Jackson Dart had a long run inside the red zone, up 10 points. If they get a touchdown there, go up 17, the game's essentially over. You get the takeaway there. Dart, ironically, not really because of that hit specifically, but he ended up getting concussed on that play. Only played 1 more drive and then did not return. I don't think it's hyperbolic to say he's been your best defensive player the last 2 weeks. Now, your defense hasn't been great the last 2 weeks, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson or Montez Sweat has been your best defensive player the last 2 weeks, and that's kind of if you want to do a little like rapid fire, some other good things. Montez Sweat, 4 sacks or 4.5 sacks the last 4 weeks. That's really good. Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, good games as well. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I mean, have to have it too. I mean, Kyler Gordon goes down. He said it in the postgame locker room as well. He got a game ball just like Caleb did and said, I was sitting at home for 2 months and I missed ball, and you guys have brought the enjoyment back in it for me. So he's fit in like a glove. You didn't know how it would go. I think it's gone even better than we could have possibly imagined. So shout out to C.J. Gardner-Johnson making big play after big play today. All right, today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, the hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick more on Caleb Williams' pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can, all in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. The way it works is simple. You set lineups of 2 or more players and take more or less on the stat projections available: passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, points, rebounds, assists, whatever it is, whatever sport, they've got the stat for you. I got a little 2-player lineup for tomorrow night. I took more on half a touchdown pass for Jalen Hurts. I think he'll throw at least one. And then I took less on Jordan Love's completion percentage. Eagles defense has been playing better in recent weeks. Weather could be dicey. 65.1%. I took the less on that one. $20 to win just 40 because that half a touchdown is a goblin play, so those are easier to hit. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. All right, bad news. DJ Moore left with an injury. Shoulder injury, they're calling it. Don't know the severity, but he was already dealing with a hip and a groin issue. He's been tough as hell to get through these games. And you just wonder now, if it's a serious shoulder injury, he's obviously going to miss time. But even if it's not severe, do you just give him a week off? I mean, I know the schedule ramps up now, but like they did that with DeAndre Swift, and I felt like it paid off. Felt like he had his juice, had his burst back today. Do you just give DJ Moore a week off? He's been beat up this year. He's taken a lot of big hits. Now he's got a third injury in the mix along with the hip and the groin. I just wonder if it would benefit the team for the health of this season to give DJ a week off. Now, I get it. Every game is pivotal. I'm not saying load management, but like if he's like 70%, maybe it's worth giving him a week. So we'll definitely keep an eye on DJ's status moving forward. The good news is Luther Burden got more snaps and played well in his absence, so that is definitely a positive. Ruben Hippolyte also got injured, active for the first time in, I don't know, at least a month. Was playing on special teams and at some point injured his knee. So not great. Is it super consequential for this team if it's a serious injury? Probably not, but 2 reasons why it's not a nothing burger. 1, this guy was a 4th-round pick this year and has not contributed hardly at all this year. And 2, with TJ Edwards out, you cut Carl Jones, who is back on the practice squad, so you could elevate him if you needed to. A little thin at linebacker. And by the way, just a little kind of side piece bad news. I didn't think Noah Sewell was good today. Missed a critical tackle in space late in the game that luckily you were able to overcome. But, yeah, Hippolyte going down, not ideal for the rookie. Some more bad news. Did not think it was a good game for a second week in a row for Tyreek Stevenson. Nashawn Wright was a little better, but he did drop 2 interceptions, so it could have been an awesome game. Instead, it was kind of up and down. I thought Reek, who did have 1 pass breakup, thought he got beat multiple times. Got beat bad on a double move by Slayton. There were a couple other plays. They ran that, what's the play called? What's the trick play where you hand it off? The flea flicker. And luckily, pressure got home, and Dart didn't see it, but he got burned on that as well. Would have been a touchdown. Need him to bounce back. I mean, first 2 weeks of the year struggled, was really good for like 4 or 5 games, missed a game because of the shoulder, and now he hasn't been good the last 2 weeks. It's the roller coaster of Tyreek Stevenson. You need him to tighten that up. He's really stepped up for the most part with Jalen Johnson out, but I did not think he was good last week, and he was not good today, at least on initial watch, in my opinion. Jackson Dart picked apart the Bears. I thought the outside corners really struggled for the most part, especially Stevenson. So that is something that has got to be better. I do want to give a quick shout-out to Jackson Dart. I thought he was really good. Now, he cooled off a little bit late in that third quarter before he suffered the concussion, but I think the Giants got something there. So they obviously have their own issues with Brian Dable and all that stuff, the GM. But Dart's a playmaker. I enjoyed watching him play. I didn't enjoy it because he was doing it against the Bears, but he's fun to watch. I mean, it was a good performance by him before he left. Something I am wondering just with this outside corner discussion, Kyler Gordon's out at least 1 more week, and then he's eligible to return from short-term IR. Ben has said they're hoping it's on the shorter end of things, so we'll see if it's just the 4 games missed. But let's say it is. Let's say he misses 1, 2 more games tops. If the outside corners continue to struggle, and with how great Gardner-Johnson's been in the slot, does Kyler Gordon play outside corner when he returns? Because he's too good of a player to not have him on the field, but I'm not taking C.J. Gardner-Johnson off the field. If out of Stevenson and Wright, if one of those guys is really struggling by that point, Do you start Gordon on the outside over him? I know he's been primarily a nickel in the NFL, but in base sets, he's played outside corner. Some in the NFL, he played outside in college. It's kind of like, I kind of view it like the offensive line. You know, coaches are always like, get your best 5 out there. Well, Kyler Gordon and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, along with the 2 safeties, that's 4 of your best 5. So you got to find a way, if you're Dennis Allen, I think, to get him and Gardner-Johnson on the field at the same time. And if that means Deshaun Wright or Tyreek Stevenson has to go to the bench if they're struggling, so be it, because you need to be better on the back end moving forward, period, point blank, end of story when it comes to this secondary. All right, the Bears are 6-3. Who you got? CHI for the Bears, MIN for the Vikings. Who wins in Week 11? A huge game. Vikings 4-5 now. If you beat them, you can kind of bury them. You'll be 7-3. They'll be 4-6. Bears of Minnesota won after that Week 1 loss, so hopefully they can get it bad. One more piece of not so great news. I mentioned Luther Burden, positive. Olamide Zaccheaus, not good today. Like, I want to see more Luther Burden, less Olamide Zaccheaus. Now, if DJ Moore is hurt, it may not matter. They might both be playing a lot. But that is something to monitor. You know, we've kind of seen Colston Loveland overtake Cole Kmet as the true tight end 1, especially from a receiving standpoint. I'm ready for more Luther Burden. I mean, I think he only had 3 targets, and he caught all 3, 51 yards, getting a lot of yards after the catch. Olamide Zaccheaus on 4 targets had 2 drops and 1 catch for 5 yards. Like, the thing with OZ is he needs to be steady. He needs to be reliable. Maybe it's just an off game for him, but I feel like he is not, you know, for every good game, it's a bad game. It's like, if anything, you need him to be like a high floor, low ceiling player, and he's just been too all over the place for me. Like, go with the talented rookie, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of factors, playbook, position role, all that stuff, but Luther Burden needs to be on the field more. He is showing you how capable he is. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic night. We're putting this video out about halftime of Sunday Night Football, so enjoy the rest of that game. Obviously, Packers-Eagles tomorrow. FGB's in the chat. See you guys soon. Bear down.